Hey guys, today I'm going to show you the top 5 tendencies of the 20th century.
Number 5. Architecture. The most significant movements of the century were architectural expressionism, functional architecture, and organic architecture, with the contribution of many architects as Frank Lloyd Wright or Le Corbusier. The work of Frank Lloyd Wright in organic architecture was impressive, as he sought to create constructions that were part of the nature instead of invading it. His most important project was Falling Water, a house designed around a waterfall. Wright wanted to make the house part of the nature. The colors were natural, the windows were very spacious, and gave the impression of being in nature. Number 4. Photography. At the beginning of the century, commercial photography grew rapidly, and the improvements on cameras helped the progress in this field. In 1907 was released the first commercial color film material, a glass plate called autochromes Lumiere. These autochromes were available to all the people. At this time, the color photos were taken with 3 exhibition cameras, and this is how the field of color photography was born. The most representative artist was Alfred Stieglitz, a photographer who dedicated his whole life to transform the photography into an art that can compete at the level of painting and sculpture. He began to explore within the photograph the capacities of the painting, as composition, texture, and the depth of field. Number 3.
Minimalism emerged in New York in the early 1960s among artists who were self-consciously renouncing to the art they thought had become stale and academic. A wave of new influences and rediscovered styles led younger artists to question conventional boundaries between various media. The new art favored the cool over the dramatic. Their sculptures were frequently fabricated from industrial materials and emphasized anonymity over the expressive excess of abstract impressionism.
Number 2. Graphic design. Since the beginning of the 20th century, the design of posters was extended to postcards, stickers, stamps, and packaging. In Europe, graphic design will emerge as part of a modern industrial society, not only through posters, but also on letterheads, advertising brochures, catalogs of industrial components, and fairs. The First World War established the importance of graphic design. The graphics, illustrations, and signs helped the government to inform and instruct the people in a direct way. They had powerful slogans that exhorted people to support the war. Lucien Bernard was one of the most important designers and publicists of the early 20th century, and had an influence on the world of graphic design. Many of his designs and logos remain almost a century after his creation. He made logos for global companies that we know, as Bosch or Audi. Number 1. Industrial design. During the first decades of the 20th century, the industrial design became very important in the USA. Frank Lloyd Wright was one of its representatives. He was an important architect who designed his own furniture as part of his architecture. Peter Bernhardt was a German architect and designer. His career started as a graphic designer within the current Art Nouveau. Bernhardt developed very soon into a geometric and austere style, which over time evolved into the industrial architecture. Wilhelm Wagenfeld was an outstanding industrial designer of the 20th century. He studied at the Bauhaus and worked on glass and metal designs for companies such as Scott & Jen, Rosenthal, Baum GmbH, and WMF. Well, that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Be sure to like it and share it with your friends.